Hi, my name is Mike Kroll and I'm running for Galesburg City Treasurer. This is one of those positions that most people aren't even aware that exists, and perhaps that obscurity is one of the reasons why so many people are surprised when I tell them how important a position it is for the city. The city treasurer is defined by Illinois state statutes as being the city's official custodian of all city funds. The city treasurer is also responsible for providing regular reports on all the monies collected by the city as well as the money expended by the city. Those reports are supposed to go out every month, and there's an annual report that is also expected to be done within 6 months of the conclusion of the fiscal year. At the present time, the last elected city treasurer retired early, and Marvin Dahlberg was appointed beginning in January of 2008 to serve out the remainder of her term. When Becky Mason retired, one of the things that became clear was there was a discussion within the community about how the treasurer's office was being run and how it really hadn't fulfilled the entirety of what the state statutes mandate for the treasurer's duties. Since Marv Dahlberg has been in place, he has chosen to do none of the mandated monthly reports, nor did he do a yearly report to cover the previous fiscal year. We are now in the middle of March, or at least the beginning of March, and we have yet to get a single report from Mr. Dahlberg. I believe that these reports are one of the most important duties of the treasurer because the treasurer's primary responsibility, in addition to safeguarding the city's funds, is to be the watchdog for the citizens. The taxpayers deserve to know how much money the city takes in and how that money is expended. And as things are right now, we get very little information from the city. In the treasurer's office, if those monthly reports are done properly, not only do the citizens of Galesburg have a better idea of how the money is spent, but the elected officials, those aldermen and the mayor, who make the decisions about the city budget and make decisions every week or every month on how to spend or what to approve, have better information in their hands than they do today. My expectation, as I am elected your treasurer, is that I will not only meet the minimum requirements of doing those monthly reports, but I will exceed those requirements by doing supplemental additional reports whenever it may suit the needs of the city council or when I believe the needs of the voters and taxpayers are best served. A good example of that would be with regard to the city's water rates. A year ago, we made the second of a number of water rate increases that are necessary to help pay for the addition and basically the improvements in the water line between Aquaka and Galesburg, along with a number of other facilities that are part of the water system. These are things that had been neglected for 50 years and are very important and necessary, and of course we have to pay for them. In order to pay for those bonds that were sold to fund these additions or these maintenance, the city has committed to doing a series of 15% revenue increases on a yearly basis. The problem is the way those increases are being applied are disproportionately affecting small water users. I pointed this out in an article I wrote for the Zephyr, a newspaper that I've written for the last 18 years, and I was the only one that made it clear that this was not being fair to the average taxpayer. This is the kind of reporting that I will do as I'm elected your city treasurer. Another thing that I think is important from the city treasurer's office is to make sure that when voters have questions, when taxpayers have questions, or when the media has questions, that the information be available to everyone. The keynote from my treasurer office will be transparency and accountability. As it stands right now, it is very difficult for an individual, whether they are a taxpayer, elected official, or media, to get any information about the city's financial position. The city only puts out one comprehensive report each year. That is the finance director's annual report for the preceding year, which is always 6 months out of date. I think this is a terrible way to run a city that is facing the kinds of economic challenges that Galesburg and many other cities in this country are facing. The only way we can expect our elected leaders to make good decisions is if they have the necessary information. And the only way you can expect to be an informed voter is if you have a watchdog looking out for you. And that will be my role as your city treasurer.